How does it matter, Sonu? If you, I mean, what is the point of using load balancer application level or network level? Because see, if the IP address of the pod is going to change, how load balancer will collect the new IP? Right? It's simply not possible because the pod IP is getting changed every time. So how does it matter? So the question was, service is going to forward the traffic, but how? Fine. So definitely, when we cannot use IP address, let's drop this idea. What about the next scenario? See, I'm going to create service called S1 that has IPX and some port number, and that user is going to connect this. Okay, and I'll come to a point rhythm, and then in this service IP we have to give the information about pod. So let's say, if you can see, we have pod, and pod has two things: name, IP, and port. So we cannot give IP port because it's changing. And if this pod got rescheduled here, you know what? Name is still same, IP got changed, and port number is same, because from the YML the name and the port will be always same. So what I can use, I can try to write name of pod. So whenever the traffic is coming to the service on this IP and port, service can redirect the traffic to the pod that has, let's say, name called pod1 or whatever name you have. So see, even if the pod is having this IP, it doesn't matter, name will be same. Even if pod having this IP, it doesn't matter, name will be same. So if this got terminated, service will stop sending traffic here, it will send here. So instead of IP and port, we can use name of the pod. Okay, fine. So are you understanding it well, that we can use name of the pod instead of the IP and the port number of the pod? Okay, fine. Yes or no? I mean, are you very much okay with the name of the pod? Yes, we can use name of the pod, and we can tell to service, you can forward your traffic to this pod name. Okay, so please type yes in a very quick manner. Wonderful. Now, can anybody tell me what can be one more problem in this particular situation? Okay, what can be the problem? If I'm using name of the pod, so name is not going to change for sure. It's very much obvious. Name is not going to change. IP is changing, that is not a point of concern. So I'm using name of the pod, everything is good. But there is a problem. And if this problem can identify by someone, so I can, give you some goodies to that boy or girl. So everything is perfectly working fine, but still there is a problem. So anybody can try to figure out. Either you try to figure out by taking your time, right? Max 30 seconds, not more than that. And if you're not able to figure out, no, multiple pod cannot have same name. See, I can tell you if I am having that thing I have already cleared in the session 1, 2, sorry. If it's pod 1, if I try to create, run again pod 1 --- image nginx --- port 80 --- restart never. So as of now, till the time we have, till whatever we have learned till now, as per this concept, we cannot create pod with the same name. So here, like in Docker, container has a unique name. So in Kubernetes, pod will have a unique name, but conditions apply till now. Okay. So I think Sonu and Gauri, you guys are now getting your point that pod cannot have same name as of now. Okay. So 20 more seconds. Now if you want to check, now you want to identify any other problem. No, we cannot. We have to recreate it, Gauri. Fine. Anyway, so your 20 seconds is about to die. Now I am giving you the problem. Then you will get the real use of service. Okay. Fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 20. The 20 seconds gone. Now let me tell you the problem. Okay. So what is happening? This scenario is working pretty much fine, and it's having no problem as of now. So everything is working fine. The user is trying to access application and it is forwarding to the pod name, and pod is giving the page response, and we are getting it. Okay. So in short, there is no problem, but sometimes the problem are user generated. For example, let me tell you, if in case of your Rajasthan Technical University or in your college website, okay, if your website is running on a single server, okay, and there is 100 people who are accessing this website by using any of the protocol like HTTP or HTTPS, and your college website is running very smoothly, so you are able to access, right, in a very smooth way, there is no problem. What happened after 3 months? You got exam results. So till the time 100 people were accessing the website, now when the exam result came, 30,000 people are accessing your same website. 30,000 people. So during the exam time, when you got the result of RT or university, or you can, remember your school life when 10th and 12th exam time was there, okay, what will be the problem? The website will become really slow. I can say server is not responding very well. So response is not very well. Are you understanding? Manan saying yes, downtime. So this downtime is not by website, because there are number of users suddenly came, and now the website is not responsive that much. So are you getting my point? Yes or no? So Okay, great. I'm waiting for a response, but yes, you are understanding. Okay, great, great. So according to you, at that point of time, what solution can be implemented by your college or university? What they can do? So can you have some solution in your mind? What solution they can implement at that time? Let's say this problem came in the month of Jan. Before that, it was working fine. What solution you are offering? So if you want to be in that auto scaling by rhythm. So one answer I'll get, auto scaling. Okay, let's just not go to the words. You know what solution it can be done? Because see, there was a single server, let's say server 1, and that was handling all the traffic, all 30,000 traffic per second. Okay, so that means there is a one server, and this server is not able to handle that much big traffic. So what you can do, you can purchase a new server, server 2, or you can purchase one more server, server 3. Now you have 3 servers for the same website, so the traffic is distributed like this. Okay, server 1, 2, 3. The traffic is distributed like this. So you have to create these servers by any of the method, by manual, automated way. The term is not about auto scaling, it's about you need to purchase or deploy new servers. Okay, this logic is very much understood, that if you increase number of servers, the website will now work very smooth. Okay, fine. Is this solution is very much understood to everyone? If you increase the number of server, then website traffic will be distributed. How it can be implemented, that is not the point of concern as of now, but the solution must be very much understood for everyone. Okay, great. So if you increase number of servers, say yes in the chat window. Wonderful, good job, you guys are very amazing. Now see the same scenario here. In the beginning, we created a service called service 1 that has given IP and the port number. And in the beginning time, what you did, you configured this service to forward the traffic to the pod 1. And here was your pod 1. And now this user is connecting to this service IP and port, and in the service section you have defined that name, and this is forwarding traffic to the pod. See, after some time, when the user will keep increasing number of users for website applications, this pod cannot handle the traffic for sure. So what you have to do, you have to create another pod by the name of, let's say, pod 2, pod 3, pod 4, and so on. Okay, so once the traffic will be increased, you have to create number of pods, and with different name, definitely, because same name pod you cannot create, so name will be different. When you have created pod 2, 3, and 4, 5, you have to update here as well. Okay, see, so the problem is, if the 5 can handle, you can create this. If it is not required, you have to delete also, because see, it's not about only creating, because if you create it unnecessarily, after some time, if the traffic is very normal now, you have to delete the existing as well. So if you are deleting existing pod, you have to remove the name from here also. So now you're getting the problem. If we increase the number of pod, then you have to put the name here, and if you decrease the number of pod, we have to delete from here. So that's why we cannot use name of pod in the service forward traffic. See, so we cannot use IP and port of pod, and we cannot use name of pod. Okay, if this logic is very much understood, then say yes in the chat window. Okay, fine. So the main motive is that you can understand. Okay, let me tell you the best idea of learning any technology. You can never, you never have to direct find out the solution. Okay, you never have to find out the solution. So let me write it down. I don't know how many of you are listening. So never go to solution directly. So because see, if there is some solution, there must be number of trial cases. So people try to use IP, people try to use name, people try to use one more thing that you can figure out. Now they got the solution, finally. So if you understand it step by step, you will be able to explore any technology in and out. Okay? So, what is the solution? The solution is, when we know the pod can increase and decrease by the numbers. Okay, so we cannot configure here pod names in the service section. Okay, what we can do, we can color this pod. We can have some tag. Let's say X colon hello. So the same tag we can give here, X colon hello. The same tag we can give here, X colon hello. And now service can also refer the same tag. So rather than using pod name or IP, we can give a common tag to all the pods related to my website. Okay, and I can give the same tag to my service. So whenever you send a request to here, it will find out all the running pods with this tag, and then it will forward the traffic here. So we are not calling it tag generally, we are calling it label. Okay, so when you don't have name and IP option as a use, we are giving a label. And so the same label can be given to all the pods. That is related to your application. If there is another application, you can change the label. The label must be the combination of key and value. So it's a key and it's a value. Okay, so that a service can identify, yes, these are the pods where I can forward that traffic related to that web application. Okay, so finally you can understand, always once you create pod, you must label them. Okay, so if you are understanding it now we can create services. Okay, so type yes or cool message in the chat window if you are understanding it, so that we can create services now. Okay, why I'm explaining it that much? Because I really want you to explore some company or jobs. Then you will be able to explain exactly the reason behind labeling. Okay, so why we are using labels, we'll get it that idea that time. Okay, fine, because the interviewer can ask why we cannot use IP, why we cannot use name. Okay, why label? Simply. So that's why it's very, very much important to understand it. Okay, so now time for creating service. Okay, so if you want to create service in Kubernetes, so there are four kind of services are there. Four kind of services. The first one is cluster IP. Second is node port. Third is load balancer. And fourth is external name. Okay, so services in Kubernetes having four different types. Okay, these four different types. But if you want to access your application from outside, only this and this service will be used to access your application from outside. Your access app from outside your cluster. Fine. So either we have to use node port or load balancer type service. Okay. Now there is one more reality.